Today I'm going to show you how to finish your motif after you've done the folded join. See, there's our folded join. This is the same motif we've been working on the last couple of videos, but we're going to finish it out and go ahead and lock her right on in to this side on that chain. And we're just going to do a regular chain. However, this chain, I am going to show you how to do the front side, back side tatting on it. This whole motif, let me get it up here so you can see it. This whole motif has been done what they call traditional tatting. As you can see, these inside rings, the waistband of the pants are right on top on each side of the picots. Okay? But on the chain, there's no waistband on those picots. When you turn the piece over, there's your waistband on the picots of the chain, but yet the rings don't have the waistbands on them. Frontside backside tatting takes everything face forward. Okay? All chains will have the waistbands. All rings will have the waistbands. Everything faces forward. So therefore you have a definitive front and a definitive back. So on this last chain, what I'm going to show you how to do is the front side, back side tatting, along with how to join at the last join. Okay? So we finished in the last video with our folded join. Now we have not tied this off yet. Okay, so that's our first priority. We want to make sure everything's snug, tied off, and in place. And then we reverse our work. Now I just reversed the work. I'm bringing my knot on down into position. Now I'm ready to do this next chain. Now if I do it traditional tatting, it's all going to face forward on this side, but the rings are facing the other direction. So I am going to do front side, back side. The way you do that is you do the second half of the double stitch first, then the first half of the double stitch. And we're going to do that 6 times. Now to do this, it takes a little getting used to. I won't lie to you, you're not going to jump in there and say, I can do this right now. It ain't happening. Okay? But if you lose your place, on the back side, everything is going to look unfinished. Just turn it over and count your stitches, how many you've got. That's an easy way to remember where you're at and what you're doing. So, pull them off and get that up a little more snug. So here we go. We're going to do 6 picot 6 for this chain. Okay, in front side, back side. Now I'm going to try to keep it down as slow as possible, but if I go too slow, the video is going to be too long. So just watch how I'm doing it. It's second half of the double stitch, first half. Second half, first half. Okay? And when you flip it over, you can count your double stitches. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more. Okay, so we're going second half, first half. Now we put our picots in the same way. Second half first, first half second. Picot is in. Okay, so second half, first half, that's 2. Second half, first half, 3. Second half, first half, 4. Second half, first half, 5. Second half, first half, 6. And our chain is complete. Okay, now we want to pull this chain off here. Okay, once you pull it off, pop that chain into place. Now you have a choice here. You can either tie that chain off, go ahead and tie your knot, or you can go ahead and join, because either way you go at it, you're going to have to tie it off. You're either going to tie it off here at the join, or you're going to tie it off here. So it's your preference. But I prefer tying off the chain and ending that element and not having to worry about it getting loose on me while I'm trying to connect it. Okay? So we tie it off and we turn it over. And if you will look, this is the front side of the work. This chain, see the pant loops on the picot? Yet this chain here has no pant loops on that picot. Can you see that? Let me get it up here for you. Can you see that, what I'm talking about? Pant loops and none. And you see how it looks finished. The piece looks finished when everything's facing forward. So let's get on with it. Now, here we go. We've got a join we've got to make, okay, to tie this chain right in here. And if you will take your needle, which it's easier for needle tatters than it is for shuttle tatters to find this sweet spot, okay, and it's right in between the chain and the ring. It's where they meet. There is a gap, okay, and you want to go down into that gap. All right, it's a little tug because it's, you know, because it's tight, because you've got everything tied off. Once you find that sweet spot, you've already stretched it out with your needle, run your crochet hook down in there. Okay, you want to grab your thread, but we want to do it from the bottom, so let's come up, because we want all knots and everything and tie-offs to be on the bottom side. So we'll flip it over and we're going to grab our thread. Now what I do is I lay that piece just like this and I say, okay, this is the thread on top. That's the one I want to pull down because I want it to look as close to natural as possible, like there is no join there. Okay, and you grab that thread and you pull it down through that last stitch. Now it is a job, okay, I won't tell you fibs. It is a job. You probably split your plies just like I just did. If you do, pull it back out, try it again. It's all trial and error. All right, we'll get it. I've got a crochet hook here. I think it's just a tad bit too big for this, but that's all right. It's doable. I can make this work. I can get it caught. I got it. Got all the thread. Once you pull it up through, okay, you pull out what you think you're going to need for a tail to sew in. Take your scissors, snip off of the ball, okay, and you're going to pull that tail on through. All right, just keep tugging at her until she comes completely through. Of course, of all times to get a knot in the thread. All right, and what you're going to do is adjust everything. All right, pull it all up snug right where you want it, just like that. Once you get it there, you can tie the same kind of knot in it that you use for tying off. You can do a square knot, okay, or you can just leave it plain. What I do is I tie it just like I do from one element to the other. Reason being is if you've got some form of knot in it, when you go to tie in your ends, sew in your ends, it's not going nowhere. It's not going to pull out. And I pull that knot down tight right up next to my work. Okay, can you see that? Tie it up and pull it down. Get closer here. You don't see the knot. And this is the back side of the work. All right, so you won't see the knot. Then when we're ready to sew in our ends, we've got long enough tails to sew in. Okay, so in the next video, guess what we're doing? We're hiding these ends. So until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy tatting.